Welcome to episode 43 of the Full Armor of Game podcast with myself, Adam, and Czar. And in this episode, we are continuing our discussion with Jay, talking game. We go through all sorts of great topics in this episode, starting with first dates, leading into tests with women and how to pass them, and all sorts of different topics in this one. Jay is a member in the Players University, and he is one of the go-tos for guys inside because this guy has mad game, and he is here to continue sharing it with you. So enjoy the episode.
You bring the crowns and heads of conquered kings to my city steps. You insult my queen. You threaten my people with slavery and death. This is Sparta! Put on the whole armor of game. This is where we fight! And these shield boys!
First dates, Justin. What are the do's and don'ts? What are the biggest mistakes you think men make on that first date? And what do you prefer? You can answer this after as well. Do you like to bring him out for a drink at the bar? Do you like to bring him out for bowling? Dinner first before they slept with you? What do you like doing preferably? What works for you?
Yeah, so what I like to do is I like to go out for just a drink. Okay, I call it basically like an interview or like a sniff test, like what people call it or whatever. I go out for one drink and I want to know if I can just even stand being around you and if you can hold a conversation. You know, it's almost like one of those where nowadays with like the FaceTime and all this other kind of stuff, you know, you want to know how to qualify a girl, you call her on the phone. And I want her to read a passage from a book so I know she's not an idiot. You know what I mean? You know, stuff like that. And it goes no different with guys. There's some guys that can't read a paragraph out loud too. But so what I look for is going out for just one drink, if that's something that they're into. And I've also met women who are sober and they don't want to do that. So we can go out bowling. So bowling is definitely a good one. I don't do dinner because for one, it's too much money. I do not give my money away to women I do not know. Okay. So my protection, my provision, providing all that kind of stuff, my financial resources, that's all earned, you know, just like a woman's, you know, femininity and her nurturing and her caring and her body, all that's earned. Okay. Just like my stuff, I have my own resources. She has hers. So those are like mainly the two that I do. And there's also this nice place where I live where it's right on the lake and you can take scooters around. It's nice and paved and you can ride scooters and you can walk around and all that stuff. There's like another little coffee shop here and you can come in here and you can get like an ice cream cone or something like that quick. It's a nice little touristy area. So something like that, that's super cheap. Go out, get an ice cream cone and just chat. Just something that's quick, nothing that's too much. Guys do too much. They want to go out for a movie. Now you can't talk. Now you're in a dark room with some chick you don't know. She's in a dark room with you and she don't know you. So that automatically makes her feel weird. Then you go out, you've already gone out to dinner first. So now she's stuffed, probably has to fart, and she's sitting next to you, and she's uncomfortable the whole damn time. And you think, oh man, if I just spend more money and I act like a nice dude, I'm going to smash. And that's not it. And she's been holding something in the whole day. She's going to go home and give the toilet freckles by the time
ripping that toilet all up.
Oh yeah, giving the toilet freckles, bro. You know? So the thing is, guys just do too much. So I'd say that's the basic right there is they do too much. They don't ask the right kinds of questions and they don't have the cocky funny. Some guys get too serious with this stuff and they start like doing super hard interview type things. I've made that mistake as well, where you get like those interview type questions. Well, what do you do for work? And what's your pet's name? And where was your mother born? And were you born and raised here? What's your favorite color? Whatever. So they start doing all that weird stuff. Or they're so aloof to the point where they actually can't hold a conversation at all. And that's another big point that I want to bring up. This is why every woman that you come across is not a mark. She's not a target. She's not someone you have to game. Okay. The reason why she's not someone you have to quote game is because every woman is one you can talk to. I don't care how they look. She can be 400 pounds and I'm going to try and make her laugh by the time I leave the convenience store. Okay. You talk to everyone. You develop these types of soft skills and social skills to where whatever room you're in, you can help to light it up a little bit. You make people laugh and you're kind of developing this. So what I would do before I would go out, I know I'm kind of going on a rant here, Czar, sorry, but like before I would go out to the club, is I would go out and I would walk around town. We could like go on scooters, we'd go get a drink at one place and go get a McFlurry at another. And the thing is, I would talk to everybody I could. I was priming the pump. I chatted with cashiers, the bag boys, people in the parking lot, someone that I'm next to at the stoplight who's jamming some music, and I tell them to turn it up because I don't have that song, and all that kind of stuff. So I would do stuff like that to where I prime it to where by the time I got to the bar, I was already Mr. Chatty Cathy, and I'm out there just chatting it up with everybody. The mistake that guys are making is they think that they can sit down, watch just the Players University, watch all of Czar's stuff, chat with me a little bit in the chat room or in my DMs, and then think that when the random 10 that comes by once every 6 months, they're going to all of a sudden have all this magical skill that they're going to go up there and magically be able to talk to this girl and pull her and make her his wife. That's not the way it goes. Okay?
Yeah,
You're going to fail.
Yeah. The tongue is the only tool that gets sharper with every use. And I wish more guys understood that. You're only going to get sharper with your tongue if you keep using it. Every situation. I don't care if she's 500 pounds, handicap. I don't care if she has blue hair, green hair, if it's a guy. Talk to everyone.
Dude, I was at the gym, and it was like this rehab center. And there's this girl there that was she was in a wheelchair. She ended up getting into a car accident and stuff. She was super cute. So she comes over to me and she just starts chatting with me about like, oh, hey, this is what your form should be like and doing whatever else. And I was kind of taking it in, And she's like, oh, well, I probably don't have to tell you, haha, because you're already kind of fit, And she's like flirting with me and everything. I looked at her and I said, does that thing come with spinners or what? And the thing is she laughed and she looks at me and she goes, you know something? She goes, no one ever like comments on it because they always feel weird. And then I pulled out your line. Then I pulled out your lines, and I said, you know something? I said, I'm going to get the best parking spots with you.
And they love
They
hearing
love
that,
it, dude. And the thing
Yeah.
was, I'm sitting there and I'm chatting with her and et cetera, et cetera. And you want to know something? The one ex that had her friend approach me at that one speakeasy.
Yeah.
Yeah. She saw me doing that. That's where it started.
It just shows that you're a likable guy. It shows that you're a likable guy, that you know how to talk to everyone. You know how to roll correctly. You're smooth with it. People are attracted to your aura. And I told Adam, I think the first podcast we ever did, the way to pass any woman's tests that she can throw at you initially, because she doesn't know you, is pre-selection. If they see that other women are talking to you, they're attracted to you, there's something about you, you just bypassed all their shit tests. Because they know if other women trust you, there's something about you she can trust you too. So she's not even going to test you.
100%. That's that God level game that I was trying to talk about before. I'm glad you mentioned that. You actually pass all the shit tests, like you said. There's way less bullshittery that you're going to be getting later on when you have like females that are friends and you chat with people wherever you go. And they're like, oh, hey, what's going on? Even if it's a sandwich shop. I have a sandwich shop that's close by to me, and I go and get myself a Reuben. And I walk in there, and one of the gals is like, oh my God, how's it going? I haven't seen you in a couple of months. And then one gal from work, I told her to go to my massage therapist who I haven't seen in 3 months. And she comes back to work and tells me, okay, were you like seeing her or something? And I said, no, what are you talking about? She's like, well, my God, where's Justin? I haven't seen him in forever. Tell him to come back. It's like, I think she kind of likes you. And I told her, I should have used your line. It's like, I can't help what's trending,
Yeah. Well, now you know.
Now I know.
Now
yeah.
you know.
But that's the thing, you guys. Like the lone wolf starves and the lone wolf dies. Okay, people think these guys, they think that they're going to go out there and they're going to lone wolf this shit. There's a reason why they put inmates in solitary confinement to punish them. I want you guys to think about this. And like, if you guys have a napkin or something, write this shit down. When you have someone in Gen Pop, okay, in a prison, they're around rapists, murderers, other killers, people that rob, they've, matricide, killed their mother, father, family annihilators, all this other kind of stuff. To punish someone, they're going to take them away from all of those dangerous individuals and they're going to put them in isolation. They're going to isolate them and put them alone because that's more of a punishment than keeping them around all the killers. And yet these guys think that they're going to go out there and they're going to lone wolf this shit and be able to like pull women and do whatever else without having a social circle, without having any social proof, no friendships. You don't have you don't have people that are out there talking about you, when you're out there and you're doing stuff. It's not going to happen. There's a reason why you see that lone wolf that's out there. The lone wolf without his pack dies. That's what happens in the real world. Okay. Lone wolves starve and they die because they do not have their pack. They hunt in packs for a reason. So when you go out there, you need to have You need to have these people talking about you, and you have to be a genuinely good person. The one thing to really watch with this kind of stuff, and this actually happened back in late 90s, early 2000s, when this stuff was really starting to kind of kick off, to where guys would get real heady about this stuff, and they would actually follow like this algorithm, and they would like game women and do all this other stuff. Is they started, it's almost like a dark art in a way, to where you can actually push it to that side, to where it's almost like having that dark energy, almost like that Doctor Strange stuff, where there's like that, Gormammu and that like dark energy stuff. And then there's, the Sorcerer Supreme, who's like the good side, trying to do what she can that's good, for the world.
Yeah.
You can morph this into both ways. And these guys that got into this kind of stuff got into the dark arts. I mean, Neil Strauss talked about it himself in the book The Game, where he ended up losing basically the love of his life, that he was able to pull an absolute 10 because he just didn't have any dick discipline, and he just had to go out there and get his next fix. This can turn into an addiction, no different than Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and everything else. You guys are once you guys get good, you get that hit, you get these indicators of interest. The girl starts flipping her hair, she's touching your arm, she's slapping you and ha ha and all that kind of stuff. And she's wanting to dance with you, and she's texting you first. And how come you didn't tell me good night or good morning? And all of a sudden you're getting this validation that women get all the time, and you're understanding how powerful this is. Woo! You can take that poison real fast. You guys can become addicted. It's like heroin.
Yeah.
So this is why you need to have dick discipline. And that's why a lot of these guys put these women on pedestals, because they're like, if I could just get the next one, if I could just get the next one. Or even the ones that are a little on the deprived side, and they're like, if I can only just get the one. And then all of a sudden they become like this clingy, the beta male barnacle. It's like, just chill out. Yeah, just chill out and have a higher purpose in life, and realize that women are a complement to your life, not the focus of it.
Yeah, you explained exactly what I mentioned. Like you said, you on the second half of the last episode is getting consumed. That's getting consumed by the game, and it can go too far. And I see it go too far to guys, or I see guys get so consumed where they spend every last dollar they have clubbing and taking women out, and because it's such a hit for them, and then they just ruin other parts of their life because they're getting consumed by that power and that validation, which we say that's why, when we see women today all promiscuous sleeping around, it's like, it's easy for us as guys to be like, oh gosh, close your legs and all that, but they don't understand the temptations women walk through every single day. When 40, especially nurse women, you're probably getting hit on by 40 different guys throughout the day, old guys, young guys, all of that. They're getting hit on constantly. So all they have to do is say yes one time, and they get to sleep around. But like, this is one of the things. So I was talking with one of the nurses about that. She was asking me, she's like, oh my God, so who are you talking to, nowadays, whatever. And I showed her like, like my Tinder and Bumble and Hinge and everything. And she was laughing. She thought it was great. Like the stuff I had on there, like my little prompts, like, green flags I look for in women is girls on Lexapro, and, funny stuff like that, and first round on me if your ex is dead. And she just was gassed up. She thought that shit was hilarious. Or lying about my zodiac sign so you think we're compatible, So that's good.
And she thought this stuff was hilarious. And her and I got to talking about that. Now, here's the thing, guys. This is most women's reality. Okay. She said that she never had to pay for a meal when she went through this bad breakup. She never paid for a meal at all for about a year. Think of how much money that is for about 6 months, a year, whatever it is, or whatever that she said. She never had to pay for a meal, because she goes, well, when I wake up in the morning, I have my coffee, my Starbies, whatever. And then she goes out, she'll have a lunch date. She'll set up a lunch date, never do anything with the guy. And then she would have her evening date guy. And then she has leftovers, and she would do this the next day, and then the next day, and the next day. And I told her, this is what I said something to her. And then she said something back to me that it blew me away. I said, oh my God, these simps, they just don't get it. She looks at me, she goes, no. I love simps. Because I can just get it whenever I want to. You give them just enough to keep them coming back. And that's where that breadcrumbing comes in that I tell guys about the Players University. You want to know why women are hot and cold? Because someone else is giving her the hot and you're the cold. She's getting that hot beef injection from someone that's not you. That's where the hot and cold comes from. The hot's not you, bro. That's not how it's working.
It's the mixed feelings.
Yeah, the mixed feelings thing. She's like, well, I'm not sure about this guy, so I'm going to give you a little text, kind of see if you're still there. Or back in the day, I used to call it pinging. Like a submarine would kind of ping the ocean floor to see where it was. She's seeing where you are. How hot and cold are you? Are you still receptive to me? Is this still going on? They can do this with 5, 6 guys. Texts are fast. So when you say, oh, she must have had her notifications off, or she went to bed early, or she whatever. Dude, they're on their phone all day, every day. They don't forget shit. And you want to know something? Another one of the girls that was there, she's also gorgeous. She said the thing that drives her absolutely wild is the guy on Snapchat that won't open the message. She says these guys they reply so fast. And she was 22, and she was the guys they reply so fast, and they'll send something back right away, or they'll open it and like, oh, they might have seen it, but they don't message me for like an hour, and that kind of bugs me. But it's the one that just doesn't open it at all. Like, why isn't he opening it? What's going on?
He's too busy. Yeah. He's living a great life. He doesn't have time. I don't have time. Adam doesn't have time
he's on
to check
purpose.
all his messages. Yeah. We don't have time anymore.
I when I tell that to guys, it blows them away when I say, because I watch and women will tell me as they're going through dating apps and they'll talk me through it because, whatever, we can talk game. They know that I'm open to it, obviously. Mm-hmm. And I tell guys that a lot of times women will scroll through their dating apps after they start a couple conversations and they see all these messages come back and forth. What they start to do is they quickly get bored of trying to maintain these conversations. So then what they do is they start to scroll to the bottom of their inbox and they get really curious about the guys that didn't make it to the top of the inbox. The guy that maybe sent one message and she didn't reply, or she replied with something short and he never came back. So she goes back into those and gets curious. And she goes, all these other guys are basically waving a flag saying, don't pick me, because they're blowing up her inbox so fast. It's the guys that are taking their time, slow, methodical, that aren't overreaching. Those girls become curious about those guys, and they'll come back in. And sometimes it takes a week or two. That's why I tell guys, don't rush and just keep trying to blow up a girl's inbox. They go back through after they weed through all these betas and they go back to my message. They go, dang, that Adam guy said something smooth. I replied, I guess I was kind of short. Maybe that's why he didn't reply. And then she goes, hey, sorry, it's been really busy. How are you doing? And I get those messages all the time, but guys don't realize it's literally, I just wait out all the betas and simps. I say the right line at the right time, and I'm never too fast with it. And then I let that marinate. And then all these other guys weed themselves out by replying too quickly, by opening up her snap right when she posts it, by commenting all of that. That just takes them out. And then she becomes curious about the guys that didn't do too much.
So, Adam, how long do you wait? If a woman makes you wait a week before she responds to you, because I had a guy ask me this question and I said, you better not answer her right away. If she answered you a week later, you better not even answer her within 2 days.
Yeah. That's what I would probably look at it and I'd be like, yeah, oh, she took a week. And I would, in my head, I'd go, well, I'm going to make her wait a week. But realistically, it's like, I'm going to make her wait at least a couple days. Now, if I wait 3 days after she took a week and then she takes another week, at that point, it's like, I don't care to unmatch. I'm just like, I'm not bothering. But at that point, then I'm really going to wait an entire week if I come back in there. And I'm really going to be like, all right, you did that to me again. I'm not playing that game again. But in general, I'm always trying to wait as long as she took to take me.
That's a very good game plan.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's solid.
I didn't know that about the whole Tinder messaging game either. How?
Dude, yeah. Like
they'll scroll all the way down, because that's something I'll do too. Is scroll down to see the women that didn't respond. I'll scroll all the way down. I'm like, damn, I said a good line. She didn't respond to me. She was really cute. So I would assume a woman might do the same thing as well.
Yeah, when you really think about it, it makes sense, because it's like they are getting the constant like, oh yeah, this person replied, of course he did, and all that. And then finally, once they get bored, they go, why didn't Czar reply? Why didn't Jay reply? Why didn't Adam reply? And then they're like, this is the challenge I want, because women are selective by nature. They can only get one guy to impregnate them. So they're trying to weed it down to that top guy. Well, how do they know the top guy? All these betas are not the top guy. They're too eager. They're too desperate. The top guys are the ones that took their shot, but they didn't overreach. They didn't over pursue. And now she's like, all right, let's go see what this was all about. This is a challenge.
Yep, 100%. And that's one of the things too, Czar, like when, like I tell guys, they're like, you scroll down, because I've done that too. I've even had it myself. I mean, no one bats 1,000. That's not how this stuff works. I mean, it is when you're doing the online stuff, it is a game of numbers in a sense. So like when you scroll all the way to the bottom, you're like, yeah, man, I said a good line and she didn't reply, etc. I've seen, like I've had the girls at work show me what their Hinge and their Bumble and all that stuff looks like. Their phone is a box of dicks. Like, I think if they deleted those apps, their phone would be physically lighter because you scroll all the way to the bottom. Like, I'm talking like, whoosh, 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 and you just keep going. There's 150 matches or whatever. And some of them are ones that she hasn't even opened yet. It's absolutely bananas. So like when guys are on there like, oh man, she didn't message me, and they're over here taking it personal. No, bro. You guys like me and Czar, we get girls that they just forget to even message back. Or sometimes they'll open the message or they'll say one thing and then all of a sudden it just dies off because some other guy that she was talking to ended up just, slipping in at the right moment.
Yeah.
It's multifactorial, man.
It's all about timing too. People forget that. Everything in life is about timing.
Yep.
If it's the right time, she just broke up with her man. Now she wants to get that poison out of her system. Maybe she just got back together with him, leaves you on a read. It
Exactly.
happens
Yeah.
like that. Sometimes they'll delete their profile altogether. So they found what they were looking for, or they got back with their ex.
Yep. And I don't unmatch. So when it comes to the girls that because I have some where there's like, I'll have like an app where there's like 50 conversations or 100 conversations on it. I don't unmatch any of those. I just leave them. If they end up deleting their stuff, well, that's cool. That's their prerogative. I don't care. But I don't delete any of these messages or whatever, unmatch them, because just like Adam was saying, sometimes they'll scroll down and they'll be like, well, hey, I sent him a message the last time and he never replied to me. Well, what the heck is going on? Then they start searching your profile again, seeing if there's any new pictures or doing whatever else. That stuff happens too. It's the guy that's not the thirsty one, who is not messaging them all the time, spending a lot of time in between the messages, as well as the one being cocky, funny, and witty, are the one that's getting the attention. Okay. That's the game. That's the trick.
Yep.
Grabbing their attention.
Yep. Too many guys have the illusion of action where they think they need to take action when in reality, when I trust myself and I know I sent a good line, there's nothing more I need to do. Either she is taken or she's with some other guy and that's cool. Or she was just looking for validation. That's fine. That's cool. I'm not going to waste any more time on it. But if I send that line and I know I said the right thing, that cocky, funny line, I took my time to reply. It's like that. I'm just going to let that marinate out there and like a fine bottle of wine and just let it marinate. And then sometimes, right, Justin said some girls will delete their apps. They get overwhelmed and then they come back on and then they see me again and then we rematch and then she'll open me and go, hey, I remember you. Sorry about that. I got overwhelmed. And it's like now because she still has that taste in her mouth that I was that cool guy. I didn't over push. Those girls now sometimes will rematch you and open you now because they're like, okay, I remember this guy. I don't want to weed through all those crazy, terrible, messages like I have to last time. I remember this guy was fun. I'm going to start here and see if something develops here. And that's how a lot of women will do it. So as long as you play it cool, you still have that reputation for the next time around when you rematch. And that happens a lot on dating apps because girls meet a cute guy, they delete their app, they're hopeful. Oh, it didn't work out. A couple weeks later, they're back on, or they just get overwhelmed. A couple weeks later, they're back on. But you're that cool guy that doesn't over pursue. She wants to start again with you.
Yeah, like you said, Justin, it is a numbers game when it's virtual or online dating. But I think every man's game should be tight to the point where you have a 9 out of 10 success rate. If you go out with this girl, you're going to sleep with her 9 times out of 10. Might take the first date, second date, third date. Your success rate should be that high. You shouldn't be doing a 1 for 10, a 2 for 10. There's something wrong with you. Like there's something off with you.
100% agree.
Just real quick, it's just because I want to clarify that of the like 9 out of 10. So guys aren't like pushing having sex all the time. It's like what I'm guessing this is what Czar means is of a girl that you actually want. Like Justin said before, there's going to be girls that you meet with on dating apps and you show up and it's like right away, you're like, dude, this girl is too much work. I don't want that. That's not what Czar's talking about. Like that's going to be one where you're like disqualifying her. But it's like when you have your mindset, you're like, okay, this is a cool girl. Here's where I want to go. Your game is tight enough. You'll be able to take them home. But there should be women where you're pushing away. There should be women where you're just going, yeah, you're just not right for me. Like this is I'm not into this. So sometimes you'll go on a date and you should be the one being like, I don't want to pursue this further. This girl is not right for me.
Yeah, but if you're attracted to her, you should have a very high success rate with everything we teach you and everything you're learning. And I assume, Jay, you have, I don't want to brag for you, but you probably have a very high success rate. Even with your 2-3 dates, you like to let it marinate a little bit longer. You like to take your time. I respect that. But, some guys first night, like 9 times out of 10, Maybe it might take second date, third date. But the point is, if you're attracted to her, there should be a reason for her to see you again. And a lot of guys fuck up. It's not, and when they tell me, they're like, oh, everything was going great. And yeah, she doesn't want to see me. And I already know boyfriend vibes. That's the number one thing that happens with guys when they go out on a date with a beautiful girl they're attracted to. Boyfriend vibes. You gave out boyfriend vibes, relationship vibes, and you will never see that girl again. You will never fucking see her again.
Yep, 100% agree. That is one of the biggest things. I'm glad you mentioned that they mess up with on dates is they give the boyfriend vibes, the opening up the door and doing all this other kind of stuff. Like, don't get me wrong, I don't
The
have a
car
problem.
door, Jay. Remember the car
Yeah,
door. A lot of guys get confused. They think, oh, you shouldn't. Well, I opened the door for her at this restaurant or this event. No, the car door. It's
car
okay,
door.
yeah. It's because
Yeah,
they
I open the regular door for everybody. Guy,
yeah.
girl, I don't care. But yeah,
Yeah,
car
yeah,
door, I don't do that.
yeah. That stuff is just regular like social contract.
Yeah.
Just open up the door and just be a decent person. But I'm not going and open up the door for Joe Bob that just walked out of the restaurant. So I'm not going to do that with the girl unless she's already my girl and she's already been doing stuff for me and she's already invested in me and all that stuff. All the stuff that Czar teaches you guys in the attraction book is 100% legit. Is she making your bed? Is she coming over and making herself useful? Is she cleaning the house? Is she buying you little things here and there? Does she buy you a candle? My girl that I have right now buys me flowers because I like flowers. And I
I
have
like
some
plants. I
years,
like plants too and flowers.
dude.
I
Yeah,
Me too.
I'm not a home
plants,
of
cats,
sexual, but
flowers. Yeah,
yeah,
I'm not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no Diddy, but
yeah.
it's one of those where I like those. So when I come home from a hard day or whatever, and I got like a whole bunch of roses and baby's breath and all that kind of stuff that's sitting on the counter, I like that stuff. And anyone that wants to say otherwise, put on a gi and let's roll. you
Yeah,
know.
and Jay, you made a great point too, and a lot of guys get this fucked up, especially if they're in high school or college. Girl wants to see them, maybe their girl, a girl they've been dating, wants to see them, but they say, "Oh, listen, I got work to do. I got to finish my homework." And then they put the homework to the side and they make the girl a priority. Now she knows, well, this guy's easy. He's really gonna put away his ambition just to see me. But I always tell guys, why don't you make that work in your favor? Like, hey, babe, I know you really want to see me. How about you come over, you help me do the chores while I get my homework done. That way I can see you faster. Make her wash your clothes, make her vacuum, make her do your dishes, whatever. Like, oh, grab me a cup of coffee so I can get my work done. Make her be a part of your team. Okay. That way she's investing in you instead of just putting everything to the side, dropping what you're doing and spending 100% with her.
100%, 1,000%, million%. That is the best thing to do because for one, that is one of the biggest qualifiers because the qualification game doesn't really end either.
That
Just like,
qualifies them too. Like,
yeah,
is she gonna be combative? Or is she fucking lazy? Or does this
yeah,
girl truly want to
because
be on my team and say, you know what, I'm gonna do whatever he tells me to do because I want to
because
hang out with
let's
him.
just say, yeah, let's just say that you guys smash, right? So you guys smash, you hang out. She's already ordering off of the menu at the restaurant. She can sit in your vehicle and she can dress nice and she looks cute. Me. Okay, big fat whoop. All of them can do that. Is she useful in your life? Is she bringing things to your life that's positive, just like you're going to be bringing things into her life that's positive? Is she your helpmeet? Is she a Proverbs 31 woman? You guys need to learn Bible game. God tells you all of it in there. Is she a Proverbs 31 woman? I actually used that test not too long ago, and there was a girl that I was dating who looked just like Pocahontas. She's fucking gorgeous. And I noticed she doesn't really do a whole lot, but she comes over here and eats my ribeye steaks and drinks all my wine. Okay. And not really a whole lot else is going on. So I told her, I was like, hey, can you, I'm gonna get this ready real quick or whatever. Can you make the bed? I have a weighted blanket that's on my bed that weighs like 30 pounds because I just love big, heavy weighted blankets. You know, she couldn't figure out, I'm putting air quotes for those that are only listening, couldn't figure out how to manipulate that blanket. So she just grabs the comforter and everything, just whips it over. She was done after that. That was the last day she spent in my home.
Yeah, it's such a simple test that guys overlook. Does she want to do your bed, especially after you're the man that's going to protect her if she's sleeping with you late at night? If anyone comes home, you're going to risk your life for her. So that's how
Mm-hmm.
I view that. I gave you my time. I'm giving you my protection, my life. God forbid anything happens. And you can't do my bed correctly. It doesn't have to be perfect, like an army
Right.
bed made, but at least do it without giving me an attitude a smug look after, or being combative about it, argumentative. Because if she is combative about doing your bed, if she doesn't do it, period. Say you're going in the shower, you come out and the bed's still not done. You tell her nicely, hey, do you mind doing my bed for me? If she's combative, I'm telling you right now, she is that type of a person.
Yep.
You just
How
dodged
you
a fucking missile.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you definitely dodged a missile because how you do one thing is how you do everything. Okay. So if she's one of those that she just kind of haphazardly does that or whatever, that's just how it's going to be. And I also look at it like this. Most people put their best foot forward. That's why I don't even consider anything close to a relationship for the first 3 to 4 months if I'm dating somebody at all. Like that one that I told you about, wherever that smoke show that was giving me shit in that speakeasy. We hung out for about 6 months before anything was official. And it lasted 2 weeks. It only took her 2 weeks to fuck it up. Okay. That's how it happens. Stuff like that just happens. I tried to do it all of my due diligence that I could, but it was once everything was official, that's when she's like, I got the guy. I can just sit back and just not do anything. It's like, that's cool. You can not do anything with somebody else. It's just not how it rolls in Casa de Justin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I think it's a good way for guys to think about too. And you said them being a helpmate and what are they doing for your life? Because you hear so many guys that get out of marriages and they're like, gosh, it was so exhausting. It was so much extra work or relationships that were draining for them. And so the way I think about it, it's like I'm a single bachelor. So my day to day is I do my own laundry, I make my own bed, I make myself a coffee, I do my own dishes, I rearrange my own furniture, I clean up and tidy my places, I wipe my own counters. So now when I think about if a woman's coming into my life, well, I'll have women that, like Jay says, will bring me flowers. That's something that I don't think about doing. That actually adds to my life. She's creating flowers, putting them into my place. I have women that are like, I'm like, hey, I'm really busy. I won't be home until 9 p.m. She's like, don't worry, I can pick us up some dinner. Okay, that's something that I didn't get in my normal life. She's willing to go pick us up dinner, bring it over. I'll bring wine, or I'll make she makes the bed, she does the dishes. She comes over and cooks me homemade meals. Those are all things that if I am by myself as a bachelor, I wasn't getting those done. Those are ways that you can start to think about how is she benefiting your life versus not just, oh, she's cute and I'm getting sex. It's like, that's not what I'm saying. It's like in your day to day life, how does she make it easier? Does it make it easier for you to tackle your day to day life, or does she make it harder? Is she pulling you away from those things you need to do?
Yeah, look at it like this, the amount of time that you spend with a woman for sex and whatever else, okay? So let's just say however long your sex is or whatever like that, however many minutes, or oh my God, I can go for hours or whatever guys lie
Yeah.
and say that they fucking do or whatever, you know? So you have that amount of time. Then you have the other 23 hours and 57 minutes in the day, okay?
Yep.
Of going out there. You guys catch that? All right. So you have the other 23 hours and 57 minutes of the day to do whatever else. Okay. Do you really think that she's going to be pulling all these circus acts on you enough to make the other 23 hours and 57 minutes of that day something beautiful and awesome? And then, of course, the rest of your life? 99.9% of your life is going to be spent doing non sexual things with this person. You're also, if you guys are looking at it this way, building a roster, if you guys want to build a roster, go ahead and do it. You'll figure out that it's worthless and it's a waste of your time. But if you want to, go ahead, figure it out. You'll learn your lesson. But if you want that one good, solid woman in your life, which I think really most guys do, that's why they're trying to learn this stuff so they can get the best that they possibly can. Mm-hmm. You're vetting a woman who's going to be raising your children someday. You're vetting a woman who is going to be there making your medical decisions someday, who is also going to be your helpmeet in the home, going to be going on vacations with, sharing meals with, going through difficult times with. You're going to be dealing with the loss of a pet. You'll be dealing with the loss of a parent or whatever else that's going to be going on. She can also help you out with whatever goals it is that you do because she's your helpmeet. So that way, like when it comes to the cooking and doing whatever, when I have my stretches of work, when I'm working 4, 5, 12 to 16-hour shifts in a row, she makes breakfast burritos and stir fry and all kinds of other stuff, whatever meal preps for me. And I never have to ask her. That right there is worth so much more for me. because I look at it like this: you're gonna get to a certain age. I'm most certainly at that age now. There's nothing that they're gonna pull on you in the bedroom that you haven't seen before. That's gonna be some magical circus act where they jump off of a fucking diving board from the ceiling or whatever and do all kinds of like, ooh, they're moving themselves differently than the other ones do. You got that's where guys are pedestalizing this stuff. There's like, oh my god, cool. It's like, is that the first one you've seen? You know, they're not going to do anything special to you that you haven't already done before. And sooner or later, you know, it's going to turn into something that's going to be somewhat mundane if it's not with someone that you truly actually care for.
Yeah,
Okay.
the roster thing is, I'd say at least two women the most, right? Have two good, high class, high quality feminine women in your life. And if one of them fucks up, you're not holding on to the outcome because you have another one. Or just
Yeah.
choose out of those two, whichever one is better. But a lot of guys, they just want that one woman. But I always tell them, before you find that one woman, you have to learn how to vet. You have to learn how to screen a woman, how to pass her shit test. And you can only do this by having experience with dating many, many women until you find that one that you know, okay, this is it. I know who she is. I'm going to get in a relationship with her. I'm keeping her. That's when you're ready to have that one woman in your life. But most guys don't do that. 99% of guys don't do that. And if sex still impresses you, then you're a fucking loser in my eyes. Like you said, if she can do a split on your, who gives a fuck? Like if she can make pancakes while doing backflips on your, you know what? Who gives a fuck? I'm telling you, that's only temporary. What else? What other value can she add to your life? So I'll give you an example. When I got my whole setup, the microphone, everything, I had to go do something. My girl was here. I'm still dating her to this day. Good quality fucking girl. No tattoos. Beautiful. Doesn't wear makeup. German. I told her, hey, listen, I got to be back in 40 minutes. Set up this whole thing for me. She took out the microphone in the box, took this out, took that out. I came back. She set everything up for me. Like, that's a team player right there. She wants to see you succeed in your goals. She'll do whatever it takes to make it easier for you. Imagine you telling some bimbo that, and she gives you an attitude. Like, I'm not doing that. Who the fuck are you to tell me, why don't you do it? And guys settle for these women. I'm like, how, you chose this woman. Don't blame her for anything. It's your fault as a man. And when men start taking accountability for what happens in their life, that's the only way they're going to be able to grow. So me and Adam, anything we went through with women, whether they cheated on us, we were in a toxic relationship, we had a lot of mess ups, failures, rejections. We looked in the mirror and we said, okay, what did I do wrong? Why did she do this? Did I not have good judgment? Was it because I was becoming too weak, too passive, too compliant? You have to figure these things out. That way it doesn't happen with the next girl and the next girl. And you just start building, building, building until you have a solid foundation and you know how to pass all their tests, how to remain in your masculine, remain the leader, make decisions. And the number one test nearly every guy fails is this. When a girl asks them, babe, what do you want to eat? You'd be surprised how many men fail this test. What do they always say back? I don't know, babe. What do you want to eat? What do you feel like eating? They can't break down the communication that a woman has. She's asking you because she wants you to make a decision. She doesn't give a fuck what it is. Two things are happening. Either she wants you to tell her, go make a steak, go in the fridge, grab a steak. We're going to eat that tonight. Or number two, you can tell her, grab the keys. Let's go grab some food. Okay. Oh, but where? Don't worry about it. You still have time to think about it. Oh, it's a surprise. Tacos, Panera Bread, whatever, bro. But most men will fail that test. They become lazy. So they start giving away the leadership abilities to the woman. Like, oh, I see this all the fucking time in relationships, marriages, and you could just see the look on the woman's face. Like, oh, I have to make this decision again. They don't want to make decisions. They don't have testosterone like we do. It's a headache for them. I know they sound like they're being caring. Oh, I should care about what she wants and we should do this together. No, who gives a fuck? You're the man. You make the decision. And if she says, oh, well, I don't feel like having pizza. Well, I'm having pizza. So you can watch me
Yeah,
eat.
or be ready with
Mhm.
two. It's like a girl asks me what I want. It's like, I don't know, I'm feeling Italian or I'm feeling Chinese right now. And then from there, she's like, "Oh, I'm feeling like Chinese." But I'm like, I always give just like two, like whatever I'm feeling. It's like, oh yeah, I either want some pizza or I'll take some tacos. And then she's like, "Okay, let's do tacos."
Yeah,
But
another thing you can do too, if you guys want to break the code on this one, is you look at her and just go, "Guess where I'm taking you to eat?" Oh my God, you taking me to such and such steakhouse? Yep, that's exactly the one we're going to.
Mm-hmm.
And you had no idea what the heck was going on. You had no
Yeah.
idea where you were going.
Technically, you still
So
made the decision. Yeah,
yeah,
technically, you
technically you
still
still
made
did.
it.
Yeah, I can't believe
yeah,
you guessed that, honey. Oh my God. But
and
yeah,
you know what? I've
but
I've done
yeah,
that before. And a girl said something, and I was totally like just not at all feeling that, and I was just like close, and then we just went to Dairy Queen. Like you're
yep,
close. But I was like, no,
yep.
I'm not trying to drop $70 and do a 2 hour dinner right now. It's like, no, we're getting blizzards at Dairy Queen.
Yeah,
Yep,
Adam.
that's
She
right.
said. She
You're gonna
said.
get an Oreo Blizzard and a walk.
Yeah, she said. She said pizza. Adam said close. We're getting Dairy Queen.
I love it.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh, weird. It happened to be 2 miles
Yeah.
down from my house. Whoa.
Yeah,
What a surprise.
I know that's a funny thing. There's a place that's this nice little pub that's pretty close to where I live, and I was like, yeah, I know of this like really cool place, has this nice little this area and stuff like that. It's not loud and somewhat small and intimate and everything like that. It'd be a cool place to grab a drink, and it's walking distance from my place, so it's like I don't even have to get in my vehicle if I don't want to. So
Yep.
And
works out
never,
great, but
never let your girl ever drive your car or
dude,
be behind the passenger seat. Even if it's her car, if she somewhat knows you, you've been sleeping with her, as we're walking to her car, babe, give me the keys. I'm driving. You always are the driver behind the steering wheel. And we all know women are the worst drivers. So you're doing her a favor.
absolutely,
Okay.
you're
You
saving
can, you can
everybody's
even
life.
you can even tease her and tell her, like, we all know you're the worst driver ever.
Although I will say I had a big period in my life where I would date 20-year-olds so that I could go out to the bars with my buddy and they couldn't come, but they would conveniently be able to pick me up and be my DD. So it's like, oh, I really want to hang out with you. Oh, you're not 21, you can't come, but I'll be done at about 11. She's like, okay, I can pick you up. I'm like, perfect.
Mhm. Justin, you can take the floor and let us know your last thoughts. Something that's very important.
Or like your philosophy you were talking about
Philosophy.
earlier, like what's kind of like
Yeah.
what's something you want to leave with the audience here?
Yeah, so the game is going to get easier for you guys when you realize that the game is not just about running game with like your mouthpiece. Okay. Now, let me break that down because the mouthpiece is insanely important, being cocky, funny, etc. Getting every facet of your life under control and within your control and trying to level up in every area of your life is going to make the game for you, the whole game, exponentially better, not to mention exponentially easier. Okay. That's why you see these people that are out there. Let's just say these celebrities. Okay, let me just throw it out there. So these celebrities that are out there, oh my God, if you go through their entire life from whenever they got founded all the way up until now, however many movies or much music they've made, they've had hundreds of people that they've either slept with. You got the Mick Jaggers, you got the whatever. Do you think someone who looks like Mick Jagger is going to have Mick Jagger body count next to him if he's running a forklift at Walmart? No, it's not going to work that way. No different than like someone like a Tiger Woods. The guy that's at Menards doing lumber wants to bang just as many chicks, but he's also not Tiger Woods. He doesn't have a busload of Scandinavian models waiting to bang his brains out on the ninth hole. Okay. He's just the Menards lumber guy. Okay. So the thing is, level up every other area of your life. That's why you can see these guys like Arnold Schwarzenegger, for example, who has been batting 1,000. He's been in the zone for 40 years, ends up banging his maid, makes a mistake, and is all of a sudden, oh crap. Well, why wouldn't he think he can get away with it when he's been in the zone for 40 straight years? It doesn't necessarily mean just because he had the muscles and the money that all of a sudden he's like this high value super alpha whatever, that he treats people respectfully and whatever. I don't know anything about his personal life. I'm just saying, just from the stuff I've seen in the tabloids. Okay. So level up every area of your life. So number one for you guys is I want you guys to get fit. Okay. Get fit, buy Czar's program and get fit. Now you start working on your mindset, because without a fit body, your mind's not going to work right. Your whole metabolism, your whole metabolic state is completely off. Start eating right, do whatever you can, whatever you can afford, get Czar's workout program. Number two, get both of his books. Okay. They're insanely cheap for what they offer. Get his books. They're gold. Okay. The relationship book, the relationship one, the attraction one, those ones are all great. What that's going to do is that's going to give you an insight into the game and how to handle the shit tests, how to initially start talking to them, all this other kind of stuff. And it's going to get your mindset right. Okay. It's to start understanding the game and understanding female psychology a little bit, all that kind of stuff. If you want to get the Rational Male by Rolo, totally cool. Just make sure you don't drink the entire Kool-Aid. Okay. Don't go John Jones with this shit or whatever his name is, Dave, whatever, the Jones dude. Okay. Yeah. Don't drink the entire freaking Kool-Aid. Okay. But just that one book, that's just enough. Don't go down the rabbit hole with that shit because it can actually turn you pretty sour. All right. Then get your money up. Make sure that you guys are working hard. And you're also going out and you're doing fun things for yourself. If you're a gamer, do some cool gamer shit. But at the same time, also go out and do some other things. Learn how to shoot a gun. Learn a martial art. Go out to these, just these different places, whatever hobbies that you want to do, to that way you have something interesting to talk about when you actually do talk to these women, because you're not going to go around and start lying. That's what used to happen back in the 90s. Guys would do this peacocking bullshit. They'd wear a boa to the club and they'd have like fucking swimmer goggles on and the glasses and shit and the fucking
top hat. Fuck,
yeah,
man.
It's called peacocking.
I couldn't even do that. My peacocking is my game, my attitude, the way I walk.
Exactly. Yeah, my peacock is my presence. I shouldn't have to say anything to you, and you should already know that Mr. Unfuckwithable just walked through the door. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's what your mindset should be. You're not saying this to people. It's just what your mindset is. You think when James Bond walks into the room or whatever, people scoff and go, ew, whatever. No, it's a crisp suit, a good watch, and the attitude. Okay, get more James Bond like. Watch Casino Royale. That's the perfect one for the body language, the bantering back and forth, how to run game, passing shit tests, and being cocky funny, all that kind of stuff. You guys will learn so much game just by watching that one. And obviously read the Bible too. Czar's got some awesome podcasts I listened to on the Bible game. Dude, those were money. Those were absolute gold. Yeah. So definitely do that. And then of course, because of who I am as a person, listen to this podcast 5 times. Okay. The one that I was just doing right now. Okay. So in like learn that little like algorithm. Okay. Just that little stuff. The attraction, the transition, the approach, the transition, the attraction, disqualification, comfort, and then the physical part, the seduction, etc. And learn a little flow chart and how to add little things in there, stuff that's actually unique to you. Don't go copying stuff that other people do because it's not going to work. That's where you get these guys that are out there right now acting like top G, and women are going, oh my God, and this is why we choose the bear, and this is so bad and whatever. It's because you don't have millions of dollars and can spend $400,000 in a weekend to hang out with Dan Bilzerian. Okay. You're not that guy. If you're a world champion kickboxer and you've made millions of dollars in sponsorships, then you can probably do that guy type of stuff, but you're not that guy. Act your wage. I say, act your wage. Wherever you are, you guys can make it. There was a dude that was back in my club days. That was a plumber. He would actually drive the plumbing truck that was there. He didn't own the company. He was just the dude that worked for him. He's just your standard laborer. And this guy would just absolutely slay. And all he did was suck shit out of porta potties for his whole life. Now, don't get me wrong. You can make mad money doing that stuff, by the way. If you guys don't know about entrepreneurship, you can make good money doing that, doing septic services and stuff. But that's what this guy did. And he would go to the club. He'd actually pull up in his work vehicle and he would still pull ass. It was insane. So there's levels to this kind of stuff. Work on your soft skills. Make sure that you can actually talk to them. Understand that your online presence and your digital footprint is very important. But when you're using your dating apps, that's simply just a tool. That shouldn't be your end all be all. Czar's talked about that many times. That shouldn't be your only mode of getting women. And then get Adam's stuff and learn how to text properly, be cocky funny, and not be so thirsty, so to speak, and messaging, every 5 seconds and stuff like that. Act like you've been here before and act like that's not the only one that you've seen. Even if you don't actually have a roster right now. Okay. Act as if. And you guys will build yourself up in short order.
Perfectly said.
Yeah, very well said. Well, man, thanks a lot, Justin. This is awesome. I've seen your great advice in Players University, but I didn't have the prior relationship like you and Czar have known each other. So this is really cool getting to know you and really appreciate your advice. Like I really love going in there and I'm seeing certain people are posting. I'm just like, this guy's got it covered. Like awesome. So we really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fantastic to be a part of it. I mean, you guys really have a solid thing going because I saw the way that things were starting to go with all these different podcasts and stuff that you see on YouTube and Discords and all these other different sites and stuff like that. And things were really starting to kind of go down a certain path where I'm just like, man, if the collective consciousness of the men end up getting a hold of this, it's going to turn toxic very, very fast. And you guys are approaching this in a much healthier, positive way that's going to help guys much more. Not to mention women are going to start getting treated a heck of a lot better and not getting called, hoes every 2 seconds, and they're inviting on all these OnlyFans models and they're just constantly shitting on women all the time. Now, don't get me wrong. Does it work for views and clicks and all that stuff? Sure. Go ahead. Make your money, boo-boo. But it's not helping out the other people. And you guys are actually doing the right thing by legitimately helping guys and giving them the tools that they need to succeed. So that way they can actually go out there and build some confidence and rapport with people, and they can start meeting people wherever they want to go. And that right there is a tremendous skill, not to mention a confidence booster, knowing you can make friends as well as intimate relationships wherever it is that you go. It's the best. It's one of the best skills ever.
Yeah, I stopped listening to those podcasts. The only time I listened to Fresh and Fit was when Andrew Tate was on there, because he actually gave you something of substance. And I can't even stand when guys go back and forth with women that comment on my videos, because I know they're going to have their own opinions, but it makes them look at men like incels when the men start calling them a hoe, or they're going back and forth like, oh, that's why you have a high body count, and they just keep going. It's not a good look.
If you guys
it's
really
not a
look
good
at
look.
if guys really want to look at it, go and maybe look at a couple of those, waste some time and look at them and realize how the sound bites are all the exact same. They've been the exact same for however many years. It's all the same repeated, regurgitated bullshit. It's all the same stuff. They talk to the same people.
Every podcast. They're just following the same bullshit trend. I can't stomach it. I don't know how guys watch
I
this
hang
shit.
around. I hang around some legitimate alpha guys. And you'd never really know it. I'm talking tier 1 operator alpha dudes. They got wives, they got kids. All of my close friends are married Christian men who have been married to the same woman since high school, that have at least 3 to 5 kids each. They don't listen to this shit. I got a good friend of mine. On average, he has a $500,000 business is what he pulls in. He goes, I don't have time for that shit. He goes, I don't listen to that shit. He goes, it's garbage in, garbage out, And you want to talk about a guy who's got an insanely gorgeous wife, a beautiful family, a big house in the rich part of town, $500,000 business, and all that kind of stuff. This dude has leveled himself up from being an addict to the point of almost losing his marriage and everything else. And him and I started hanging out, and everything just started getting better and better and better and better. We trade books to read, good podcasts to listen to, working out. He's one of my students now at the gym, and he's now a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. And he's worked himself up to the point to where when you go out with him, it's like hanging with a celebrity. He's one of those natural guys that he could just talk to everybody. That's just who he is. He's just a naturally bubbly dude. Okay. So he took himself up from his bootstraps, from the depths, and actually built himself up in every facet of his life, to where now he's pulling in government contracts that are $1 million a piece, and he used to just be a drywall guy. So like, if guys think that if you can learn drywall all the way up to, building a terrorism proof fence around, some engineering project, for the government, you can learn how to talk to women, for fuck's sakes. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's like
part of too what you guys just said about the sound clips are all the same of those shows. It's true. Like, they can set them up for the same type of questions. That the girl's gonna say some crazy answer, and it's gonna be a great clickbaity answer. But that's also, let's put that into the positive spin of things. It's like, that is also how it is when you start to learn the game with women. Is there's so much repetition once you start to learn, and you start to see the same patterns with women. You start to see the same conversations come up, and then you just get better. It's like Groundhog Day. You start to see the same things over and over again, and then you have more knowledge to build on that and expand from. So on the bad side is, the same clips are all the same, but the good side is, like, the better you get with women, it gets so much easier, because, like Jay's been saying a lot, it's like the algorithm. It's like you start to figure out the algorithm, and you just start to see it clearly, because the same situations repeat themselves over and over and over again.
Yeah, you'll start figuring out too, when you guys build your little flow chart with this kind of stuff, if you want to completely nerd out on it. like, oh, when you do the opinion opener or something like that, like, oh, they're all going to say the exact same thing, or they're going to say something somewhat similar to this. There was a time, I'll share a funny story before we end this. So when I was doing the whole club thing and whatever, I was hanging with a buddy of mine. Him and I would actually have a game. It got boring going out there, saying our stuff and chatting and then, taking one home, or now she's part of the friend group and now her and her other friends. It got kind of boring. And he's just like, let's just spice it up. Let's just see if we can absolutely screw this up. And I was like, cool, I'm game. Let's do this. And so what he would do is he would give me something, a topic to go and talk to a group of women about, to see if I could actually use this to actually build rapport and for it to be something funny, or I completely crash and burn and now my guy friends laugh at me. That's all it was. They would come up with the most outlandish shit. So I'm like, all right, man. And this was my roommate. I go, all right, give it to me. He goes, all right, man, you're going to go over there. You're going to go over that group. And it was a very good looking group too. Like something from like Chicago, because it was right in between like Chicago and Minneapolis. And they looked like they were from the Chicago-ish area, whatever. And there's like 5 or 6 of them. He says, you're going to go over there and you're going to talk to them about toilet paper. And I'm like, what?
I was just thinking boogers would be a fun one.
Oh, dude. So here's what I did. I'm like, and here's the thing. You have 3 seconds. That was our rule. If you ever see a girl, you have 3 seconds to approach her. I'm going to give that rule to everyone on Players University. You have 3 seconds to approach or you're done. Because if not, now you're seen as a beta. So anyway, I was like, 2001, 2002, okay. And as I walk over, I started thinking of it, and I walked up and I just said, ladies, like super loud. And they kind of went like this. And I said, look, we have a very heated debate that's going on right now between me and my buddies. And I pointed back to them and I turned my body away. Okay. That's more of like a hook point. I'm doing a leaning thing. It's called psychic leaning, to where I wasn't being too forward with them. I was showing them I was not a threat. I was trying to pull away from them. So I was turned to him sideways and I said, look, me and my buddies over there are having one hell of a heated debate. We need a female's opinion on this. And they're like, yeah, women love giving their opinion. And I said, look, toilet paper, should it roll off the front or the back of the roll?
Perfect.
Dude, this went on for, I swear, an hour. They came over to the group. My group knew what we were talking about. Now we have me, my group of friends, and another group of girls all sitting together having like a really fun and hilarious debate about toilet paper. We're touching and we're building rapport, and the girls, oh my God, well, I'm getting thirsty or whatever. I'm like, cool, yeah, go buy me a drink. I'll be here, sweetheart. And they'll be like, oh my God, I'm not going to do that. And I was like, well, I don't buy girls drinks. And now all of a sudden we're on to that topic. And now things start to get fun and we're sharing stories with each other, all because of toilet paper. It was
perfect.
Dude, if you can pick up a group of 5 women talking about toilet paper, pretty sure I can help you guys out.
That's great.
Everyone overcomplicates the approach. And if you look at all these YouTubers, that was epic, or Steven Shapiro, they'll approach random girls in college and say the most outrageous fucking lines, and it works. Because they know they're being recorded. They're not worrying about the outcome. Who cares if I get rejected? And that is their best pickups. And I wish guys understood that. Pretend like someone's recording you and this is just a video.
Yeah.
Your mindset will be different. And there's something powerful about when your boys encourage you to do something, because my best pickups were when I was out with my guy friends and they wanted me to prove myself, like, oh, you won't go approach them or you won't say this. And it's like magic unfolding in their eyes. They're like, how the fuck does he do this?
Yep.
So guys have to have that mentality.
So that's great. Like,
that
would be way fun to do, because I feel like that's just part of the fun too. It's like entertaining yourself at the same time. Like, I'm thinking about you when you said you guys got bored of doing the same thing. It's like, yeah, I know that feeling, but it's like, oh yeah, if I had that game where Czar's like, go talk to that group, tell them you got to talk about boogers or something like that, I'd be like, that's interesting. Let's go see what happens, because that makes it fun for me. And if I'm interested in it too, they're going to be interested in it as well. But like the pressure of needing the perfect line, guys, always, one of the first things guys will say when they come to Players University, hey, what's the perfect line for an opener or something like that? On dating apps, I get it. You do need to have a little bit better of an opener. But in general, it's like, it doesn't matter. It's just making an impact in some way. It's just getting on our radar. And you can do that with toilet paper. You can do it with boogers, or you can do it with any other opinion opener, which, just like you said, Jay, I think that's perfect for guys to know, is like, go up to any woman, no matter what it is, a group of women, you say, hey, Me and my buddies are having a quick argument about this. We need a female's opinion. We need ladies' opinions. We need a woman's opinion. And just like he said, all of them will get done from their boring conversation they're doing. Something new came, something interesting. They all look at you and they can't wait to give you their opinion, especially the toilet paper one. Because I know everybody that, like, I know the right way is over the front, but I know there's going to be people that tell me it's the opposite way. So I would definitely have that debate.
And look at it right now. We're talking about toilet paper.
Exactly.
We're still talking about it. Everyone's got an opinion on it, even though it's something goofy. And the thing is, like, the whole reason why that worked for the guys that are really super in their head about this stuff is because I was simply looking to have a good time and to have a good giggle, even if I got completely blown out by these chicks. And that is, if I walk over there and they turn me down and they're like scoffing, or if it's something stupid, we get a good laugh out of it. We're going to chat about this. Oh, man, you remember that one time? And it's just something funny. I was simply trying to have a good time, and the women were a part of it. That's it. I wasn't actually trying to game them. I didn't care. I was trying to not game them, which actually worked out better than if I was to come up with some canned line of, hey baby, or whatever guys want to do.
Or a neg, or using a neg.
Yeah, or using a neg, like, oh hey, nice fingernails, I guess that's a color you can go with, or something stupid. It's like, just don't do that. Just learn how to have fun, have a good time.
Yeah,
women should be a complement to your life, not the exact focus of it. I'm too busy with all the stuff I have going on with work, like you said, Czar, with like rosters and whatever. There's a reason why, like, those high value men, like, look at the guys from like the 80s, right? They're in like Goldman Sachs and they're like masters of the universe. They're doing their thing. They would have like their wife and they would have like the secretary, and that's it. They don't have time for 5 or 6.
You just need
you got women. Time for 5 or 6, dude. It's ridiculous. For one is enough trouble to deal with. And 2, yeah, for a little variety, if that's something that you want to go for. I'm not going to shame any guy. You can do whatever it is that you want to do. As long as it's something that's, ethical between you and your partner, who gives a shit? There's a lot of ways to do things nowadays. But yeah, if you're trying to do this thing where it's like it's the numbers game, so to speak, and you're like, oh yeah, I got to have 5 or 6. I got a date on Monday and I have a date on Tuesday. Wednesday I have to work. Now I'm going to do it on Thursday. Bro, you're going to go broke way quick.
Women take up a lot of time too. They don't realize they take up a lot of fucking time. So,
and emotional energy too. You have to deal with it. It's like the post-nut clarity. It's like in my biggest, when I was rostering 5 or 6 women a week for a while, it's like after I sleep with the girl and you have that post-nut clarity, there was multiple women where I was just like, God, I have to entertain her for another couple hours, or man, now she's staying over and I got to. But like now I appreciate when I have that woman where it's like, I actually enjoy hanging out with her. No, it's cool. And the next morning she'll be here. She's going to make my bed, do this. We're going to have breakfast together. It's like, that's peaceful. But sometimes you got to date around to know too what peaceful is to you. Some guys don't even realize how they should be treated by women because they haven't been treated as they should by a woman yet.
Oh, 100%. And the reason why that is because women at a young age are taught what to expect from men, and men at a young age are taught how to treat women.
Yes.
That's the difference.
Yep.
Women are taught what to expect from men. I had this conversation actually with the gals at the nursing station. And I told them, I said, what were some of the stuff that you were told as little girls? And they're just like, oh, you got to watch out for men, and you got to whatever. And ooh, they might pull your ponytail or something, or you just got to watch out, something weird. I was like, okay. I was like, well, what were you taught to look for in a guy if you wanted a husband? Oh, protector, provider, someone that like they make some money and he has like a house or something like that, or he could do, whatever it was. And I said, that's very interesting. So you were taught 2 things, that either men are something to be feared or they're a utility to you. That's it. So it's like, all right, if that's the case, that's the case. But, I don't make the rules. I can't say how they're raised, but men have to know this. That's what the game is, understanding the game. It's the full picture. It's not just what you do. It's also, how does their mind operate? How were they raised? The biggest obstacle that men are going to have to go against is who her father was and who her friends are. That's going to be one of your biggest things. Okay. People think it's social media. That's actually not the case. It's her friends and who her father was, if she had one.
Yeah. Her influences.
Yep.
Well said.
Yeah. Well, Jay, it was great having you, man. And
dude, this can go on forever. I know we got to cut this short.
It was great having you. Yeah, I'm gonna have to clip some of these and post them on Instagram. There was a lot of great things you said. But you're 39, and then we're going to have Rich, who's part of the Players University, who's 23. So you'll
Right
see the
on.
different dynamics and how you could be young, learning the game very quickly compared to when I first met him and where he is now. And someone like you who's 39, who's fully mature and still picking up women, learning the game, and has learned the game, I should say. But you can always
Mhm.
learn more from the game. Even me and Adam, we're still learning every day. And it's a never ending
Oh yeah.
process.
Yep. I'm still picking stuff up. Like you said, it's like you're always sharpening the sword.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or yeah, even the last thing here, because you guys know you can talk to me, Czar, and Justin all inside the Players University. But that's even the coolest part too, is I love when guys have used one of my lines or a way that I set up something, and then I see them use it though again with their own style. Because now I'm like, I already have my own programs. I already know exactly how I can do with every girl. But now I see someone else use, oh, I know that line, and I go, oh, he took it this way. I really like that. Now that's a way I can add more variety into my system I already have set up. So that's the other cool thing is like people are going to use some of Justin's lines, and then he's going to probably start to see some morphs of his lines, and he's going to be like, dang, I can use that now too as well. Same with Czar. That's the cool thing about sharing all this knowledge together.
Yeah, I love seeing that. I've definitely seen that at Players University already. And there's even some lines too that some of the guys have put out there. The ones that are much younger than me and that are new to the game. I was like, dang, that's actually a pretty solid line. I'm gonna have to pick that one up, and I've started to
Yeah.
use that one. And it works. It's cool.
Yeah, I love seeing that, like you said, Adam. They use their own style, similar line, and then they start realizing, wow, I fucking get it. Like I get it now. And you see the
Mhm.
magic unfolding.
I
Yep,
can't
it's a
wait. I
beautiful thing.
can't wait. We're growing our babies, guys. We're growing
Mhm.
some
Yeah,
absolute players.
they grow up so fast.
They do. They do. In like 3 weeks, you're like, whoa, who was this guy 3 weeks ago? And all of a sudden he's coming in with this, and you're like, dang, that was smooth.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, man, shout out to Harris, man. He's
Yes,
he's
Harris
been
is a
dude,
maniac.
man, he's been in my DMs, and like at first when I was working with him, I was like, all right, I'm gonna have to coach his kid up a little bit and whatever else. He's throwing some bangers out there now, and that's why I commented the other day. I'm like, he's getting smooth, and I've even taken some of his lines and used it and have bared some fruit. So yeah, shout out to Harris, man.
Yeah, what an improvement, man. Holy shit. Remember in the beginning what we had to deal with him?
Yes,
I'm
we
like,
love it. He's
he,
a
he was
maniac,
tough.
but
I'd use my dad voice.
yeah, and I'm like, damn, he's fucking getting it. And I said, if this kid
Yeah,
can get it, I was like, and he has autism as well. And he thought that would be a factor. And then we
dude,
have him
not at
live
all.
on the Q&A, and I'm like, dude, kid's fucking normal. Like, what is he
well,
talking about?
I was gonna say too, and I talked to him about it too because I have ADHD, and so I'm theoretically on the spectrum. But one of the gifts of that is seeing patterns, pattern recognition. That's what I was
Hmm.
telling him. It's like just like Jay's been saying this whole time, the algorithm, the matrix. It's like my brain is set for video games. I'm an ADHD kid, so when I got my brain hooked on game, it became a video game, and it's that same type of feeling, and that's what Harris is starting to figure out too, and I love it. It's like it's just so motivational.
All
Yeah.
good things, guys. You guys are doing a really good thing here. I'm glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, thank you, Jay.
Yeah, thanks for having you on. All right, guys, we will have this out. Probably be a two-parter, so we'll get 2 rounds of Jay on this one.
And then
So
we will have Rich, the 23-year-old charm master,
that's
Mr.
right.
Charisma. And if you guys
Yeah,
follow
buddy.
us on social media, I reposted one of his amazing text messages with a girl that really likes him, and he's starting to learn the game, and I'm stealing lines from him too.
All
Good
right,
stuff.
take care. We will see you all in Players University.